You have invested millions of dollars of your own money in this campaign, and yet you faced a spoiler in Iowa named Mike Huckabee and may have a spoiler here in New Hampshire named John McCain. How demoralizing is that for you?
Oh, just the opposite. I got into this race, single-digit support in each of these states, far from a household name, running against household names. John McCain, Rudy Giuliani.
Mike Huckabee, not exactly a household name.
That's the third. That's the other one. And Fred Thompson. So 3 household names. And of course, I had to build support to be able to get to their level. And I raised more money from other people than any other candidate in this race, and propelled myself to be among the top tier in every single one of the early primaries. So I'm feeling pretty good about that.
Having said that.
And with Mike Huckabee's success in Iowa, congratulations to him. He put a coalition together that worked for him. But I did beat John McCain, Rudy Giuliani, and Fred Thompson. And then I did win in Wyoming, beating those same folks over the weekend. And here in New Hampshire, I'm planning on winning in New Hampshire. But look, John McCain won here in 2000. He beat George Bush by a wide margin. He's got a network here. He's been endorsed by all the papers here. That's his constituency. And so I recognize this is an uphill fight for a guy to get into a race who's relatively unknown and fight his way to the top. And here I am, either right about to beat him or going to beat him.
According to our polls, even when you were leading in New Hampshire, more people thought you were telling them what they wanted to hear rather than what you actually believe at your core. Why do you think that some people have the impression, Governor Romney, that you are the least authentic candidate?
Can't tell you the answer to that. I know that I am what I am. People can look at my record as governor, and that's probably the best thing anyone can do, to see what I stand for and what I do as president. Because I was governor for 4 years at the state next door, and there were a whole series of issues that came up, and frankly, almost every important social issue of our time came up during my term as governor. They saw what I did, where I came out. I also worked on some important issues of a different nature. I got health care for all our citizens. By the way, a lot of folks didn't like me doing that, but I got that done. Improved our schools, got our taxes down, held down spending, so people can look at my record. But of course, as you look at polls and what people think, don't forget that a lot of that is shaped by what opposition campaigns do. And opposition campaigns went after me pretty hard and heavy from the very beginning and continue to this day. And that's going to shape people's opinions to a certain degree. But if anyone has a concern about where I am, what I stand for, look at me, look at my family, look at my wife, look at my job as governor, and you can count that I'm going to do the same thing as president that I did as governor.
You've acknowledged that your Mormon faith probably played a role in your loss in Iowa. Do you believe your speech on faith addressed enough issues to satisfy people who may have concerns about the fact that you are a Mormon?
You know, there will always be people who will not be satisfied about my faith or about a matter of faith, but the great majority of Americans do not choose their leader based on which church they go to. People here in New Hampshire certainly don't. And I know that in Iowa, there were surely people who were very pleased with the fact that Mike Huckabee, who ran as a Christian candidate, who's a Christian preacher, that he called on that base and they supported him. And they were comfortable with Mike. That's terrific. He did a good job putting that base together. I don't take anything away from that. But I don't think it was so much a vote against my faith as it was a recognition that he was somebody who deserved their support.